Hello and welcome to the Celtic Colours International Festival live from Cape Breton Island. I'm your Celtic Colours Countdown host, Norma MacPhee-Zinck, and we're thrilled to have you join us here online. Tonight is day 4 of 9. Hope you're enjoying an awesome festival. This evening's live stream concert is Beòlach 25. It's been 25 years since Beòlach officially came together after first stepping onto the Festival Club stage for an impromptu session during Celtic Colours in 1999. And their signature blend of lively tunes, tight arrangements, and charismatic chemistry has been lighting up rooms ever since. Now one of Cape Breton's most celebrated traditional groups, this special anniversary concert marks a significant milestone in their musical journey. They'll be joined on stage with lots of friends during this terrific celebration. We go live in less than half an hour from Port Hawkesbury, and yes, this is going to be another dance around your living room concert. In the meantime, we're going to chill out together. And before we go any further, let's hear some messages from our wonderful partners who are helping to make the festival possible this year, including our presenting sponsor, TD, who have been with us for 7 years.
Over the last century, Member 2 has become our home. Our community today was only a dream to our ancestors of Gundawiktu, who were forcibly removed from our original location on King's Road. Following their lead of bravery and resilience, we too lead by example for those who come after us.
There's pride in sharing culture in our success in Member 2. Our Mi'kmaq values honor land, water, and each other. It is said that each one of us only truly exists in relation to those around us. Community is everything.
In an act of harmony, our people and our community have grown together, one always in unison with the other, like the roots and the branches of a beautiful old birch tree. Without our people, we simply wouldn't have the vibrancy we have in Member 2 today.
Member 2 welcomes the world, and the future is ours.
Gundawiktu is where we come from. Member 2 is where we now call home. There's no stopping where we go next.
Scotland is small and mighty.
Innovative, beautiful scenery.
Mountains, lochs, glens.
There's a lot of energy here, and it's good energy.
Scottish people are passionate.
Funny, inviting.
Scotland has a really supportive environment.
Scotland push new voices. And I've always felt such love and support from Scotland.
I don't see Scotland being constrained by its own borders.
It has this rich history and culture.
We're not one thing, we're everything.
We have the talent, we have the network.
There's passion out there.
Welcome back to the Celtic Colours Countdown. I'm Norma MacPhee-Zinck, and it's night 4 of 9 of this energized festival. In less than half an hour, you'll be watching the live stream concert of Beòlach 25 from Port Hawkesbury. If you're watching us on YouTube or Facebook or the Celtic Colours website, why don't you jump into the chat and tell us where you're watching us from? Let us know if you've been attending the festival this year or have you been in the past. Are you taking in any of the awesome community events happening all around the island? Head on to the comments section and let's get chatting. And speaking of those community events, there are so many of them taking place. 276 to be precise. There's something for everyone, from blacksmithing workshops, songwriters circles, scrumptious meals, to making felt fairies. They're all listed on our website over at celticcolours.ca. Be sure to check out the entire list in a bit. But for now, here's a sneak peek at some of the many community events not to be missed.
Every day of the festival is packed with community cultural events, hosted by local organizations all over Cape Breton. Tomorrow is Tuesday, October 14th. Join Parks Canada staff at 10 a.m. for a guided hike to Corny Brook Waterfall in Shettycamp. This is a 2-hour hike through an Acadian hardwood forest and suitable for most skill levels. If you're headed to the Keola's 30 show in Mabu this evening, the community meal close by is hot roast beef dinner in Port Hood. Beginning at 4 p.m., eat in or take out. You can walk up, admission at the door. If your show for the evening is Cow Bake Haley in Port Morin, there is a community meal a few minutes away. Beginning at 4:30 p.m. is ham and potato salad supper, which will be served with dessert. There are too many events to mention, so please visit CelticColours.ca. You can see what's happening in communities near you and also check for updates.
Welcome back to Celtic Colours Countdown. You're joining us on night 4 of 9. And tonight back with us is the very talented Wendy MacIsaac. Welcome back, Wendy.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you to chat about a very exciting concert that is coming up this evening, Beòlach 25. And it is fun to note that the folks, you guys watching live stream, you'll have the privilege to watch it because this concert actually sold out on the very first day that the tickets went on sale, which is no surprise. So Wendy, tell us all about what folks are in store for tonight.
Well, this was an idea that I had a little over a year ago to celebrate our 25 years because, as many people know, Beòlach was sort of formed at Celtic Colours at the Festival Club. And it was probably 26 years ago that happened, actually, but we're celebrating it this year. We didn't have a band name until the year 2000, and, you know, our first real gigs were that year, so we decided it would be really cool if the original band members, who are Ryan J. MacNeil, Patrick Gillis, Mattie Foulds, and then the three of us, Mac, Mattie, and Wendy, who are still plugging along, could, you know, be involved in the show, and also the people that we perform with since then. So that includes Boyd MacNeil, who plays guitar and fiddles with us, Kenneth MacKenzie, who plays pipes and fiddles, Matt MacIsaac, who plays pipes, whistle, guitar. So all of those are the musicians, and then we have some special guests who, you know, people that we performed with over the years. So Mairi Lamond, Heather Rankin, and then there's a dance troupe called Change of Step. So they're coming to do some dancing, and they have done a lot of choreography to Beòlach music over the years, and they're amazing. So they're coming to join us as well. So lots of dancing, singing. You know, Beòlach's an instrumental band, so it's nice to have some singing in the show. So we've been working really hard on this show, and we cannot wait for, you know, everyone to enjoy it.
Oh yeah, super high energy, and also kind of almost like a family reunion of sorts. Yeah, musical family reunion.
It's going to be so great.
Yeah. Wow. Take us back a little bit to that festival club night, because like you say, it is sort of, you know, festival clubs, a lot of spontaneity, a lot of people land up on the stage, and
that's right. So, you know, back then, especially, just what you said, you know, at the end of the night, especially, it would be like, I mean, this still does happen. You go around and find all the fiddle players and all the, you know, whatever players, any instrument really, and we play a bunch of tunes at the end of the night. And so I actually wasn't there that night. My cousin Lisa MacIsaac was. And so a bunch of them got up and played these tunes. And I hope this is right, but I think when Joella was standing there watching, like someone came up to her and, you know, was talking to her and said, "Who's this band?" And she said, "Well, it's just, you know, this is just what we do." And Joella came up to, I think it was, you know, a couple of the crew that were on stage and said, "You really should put a band together." And so, yeah, not long after that, Joella had booked a tourism gig. And so those guys all went down. I believe it was to Boston on the Cat. And they did a little tourism thing. And then Lisa moved to Ontario. She moved to Toronto and started up with Brenly. So they're in their 25th year as well.
Which is wild. Madison Violet.
I know, yes. And so I got a call to see if I wanted to, you know, step up and join the band. And so, yeah, it's been really fun. And, you know, we've been able to make some great music together and perform at some amazing places. Just this past year, we performed in Trafalgar Square for Canada Day, which was awesome. And the best part of it is that we're all still really great friends, so it's just been a great journey.
Yeah, that's why it is going to be this like family, like I say, family get-together, family reunion of a sorts this evening. Yeah. Oh, exciting.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we cannot wait to watch it. And like I say, folks, stay tuned. Come back to the Celtic Colours Countdown for this amazing show, Beòlach 25. Woohoo! Woohoo!
The Celtic Colours Festival means a lot to me because it displays the beauty of the island, the beauty of the music, and the beauty of the culture. One of the most memorable things about growing up in Cape Breton is understanding that the Cape Breton culture was not one group of people, but it was a compilation of many different cultures from many different parts of the world that is unique. My hope is for the festival to continue well into the future so it can showcase what Cape Breton has to offer to the world. Wagner's, your personal injury lawyers.
There's something about this place brings me back, it always brings me back. This kind of love won't change. Brings me back, it always brings me back. I've crossed many lines, but one thing's always clear, my heart stays here.
When it comes to taking that first step in your educational journey, you have a lot of choices. Only one feels like home. At Cape Breton University, you can explore your passions and gain global perspectives in familiar surroundings. With a diverse, welcoming campus community, exciting programs, and outstanding faculty support, you can get a world-class education right here at home. This is community. This is Cape Breton University. Apply today at cbu.ca/apply.
Welcome back to the Celtic Colours Countdown. This evening we have another special guest with us. We have Shelley Campbell joining us remotely via Zoom. Welcome, Shelley.
Hello, welcome. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us here. And Shelley, we've been chatting with folks here on the Celtic Colours Countdown about the impact of the Celtic Colours Festival, and that's where I'm going to start with you as well. You're someone who is a fiddler for a few years now. Tell me about how your first encounters with Celtic Colours, and yeah, we'll start there. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I suppose in the early days, I was, maybe not quite stage ready. So I was going to a few events and kind of in the excitement of it when the festival club used to be at the Inverary in the early years, and, trying to just get to places, and feel that excitement and see these new artists around and get to see people from away, but also local people that maybe I idolized a little bit or, thought of as mentors or whatever. But then as the years go on, you get invited, and that's always wonderful. And you get to play with some of your heroes and some people that some really good friends. I always have tended to do a lot of community events kind of during the week as well, playing for dances and pubs, which is where my comfort level probably is more. But yeah, it's been great. And to meet people that have continued to be friends. I always think of Nuala Kennedy. The first year she was over and we were in the bathroom at the festival club, and she came in with a pretty full tray of drinks to share with people and good fun stuff. And she just said, "Oh, hello, girls. I have to represent my country. Let's have a good time."
In the bathroom of the festival club. I love it.
Yeah.
Where many great friendships form. Yeah.
That's right. That's right. So I suppose, that impact and then knowing what it does for the greater community economic wise, and to celebrate our culture and make us feel that it's something that's worth sharing beyond our boundaries as a little island, that's all of great importance, of course.
Well, yeah, it makes so much sense, and to touch on that in terms of worth sharing, and I'm curious, I'm about the style of fiddle tunes that you play, because I was chatting with some folks before we chatted, and I wanted to ask you about that, about the Gaelic and the fiddle, because I've heard that in songs over the years, and to you, what would that phrase mean?
Well, I suppose it's really a stylistic, element to the playing. So the embellishments and the ornaments and gracings that you're putting on, the swing or the jig that you play with. Gaelic itself is a very lilting language. So, you kind of take that same expression and try to apply it to the fiddle. But honestly, for most of us that have made Cape Breton our home for many years, especially in the more, I'll call them like Gaeltacht areas, the whole island really has lots of Gaelic, but there's this few areas that are very steeped in it, that sound kind of just became part of the community sound. So a lot of people maybe don't realize that we have regional styles in Cape Breton. So, the Mabou coal mines area has a very distinct sound and drive to the playing. And then you might go to Iona, there's a slightly different flavor or tune repertoire. Like that's a big part of this is tune repertoire. Down to Sea Mines, you get a little bit of Irish, flavor to the playing. And you head up to Shetty Camp and you get a little Acadian influence. So, the Gaelic. The Gaelic in the music is the expression in the ornaments.
I like that phrase. Yeah, and because it's funny you mentioned that, because years ago I was in the Cape Breton Gaelic choir, and my dad was as well, and sometimes they'd be going over the words, and similar to what you just said, people would say, well, this is how we say it from here, and no, Oatmira, we say it this way, or whatever. So it's, like you say, the Gaelic in the community itself, yeah.
Yes.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. And I want to touch back to something you mentioned a minute ago about getting to play with some of your heroes. So who would some of those folks have been, and what was that like?
There's a lot of them. There's a lot that are just a generation ahead of me, the Stephanie Wills, Wendy MacIsaac, era. But, I think most people my generation go back another to like Jerry Holland and Joe Peter and Alec Francis McKay, and you get Teresa McClellan, who a lot of people know she was a massive influence on me. She grew up in my community, and she had such a unique style of playing, really pipe oriented and full of flavor, full of drive and dirt and everything you could put in there. And I got to play with Teresa and Dave MacIsaac and Jackie Dunn at one Celtic Colours in Glendale, and that just sticks out as a memory, just because I can still picture Teresa playing beside me and going, like, doing the harmony and stuff on the fly, which she was very good at, all that kind of backing fiddle and playing country songs and different things. But I hadn't experienced it, although she was my bus driver for many years. So I knew her well, but didn't have that opportunity to play with her before. So
she was your bus driver,
lots of people,
and a fiddle teacher as well. She was both.
Yeah. No, she never taught lessons, but she every now and then she just swing over the bus and maybe play my little 3/4 size fiddle on the side of the road, but it wasn't even that. It was just knowing that she was from my community. And that she was so highly regarded in the fiddling community.
Mm-hmm. When you mention harmony with the fiddle, that may, some of our listeners, that might not be an obvious. We think harmonies, we think vocals, but harmony with the fiddle is interesting. So tell me more about that.
Well, traditionally, I think if we're going to get technical about things a little bit, we don't have a lot of harmony or even improvisation in a grand sense. We have lots of little improvisation in our playing, but it's only in more recent times that bands are, putting harmonies and arrangements together. When I say recent, I'm talking 80s on, the 1980s on. Maybe that's not so recent anymore. But I think of people like Howie MacDonald and Jerry Holland, who really did arrangements on their albums, and the Bear MacNeils and the Rankins. And, they were working on arrangements and harmonies. But in the simple fiddle world, we really only usually just take a melody that's on the high octave and play it on the back strings or the lower strings. Or we might use high bass tuning. But Teresa, because she played with her sister and her brother a lot as a trio, she would add in little harmonies quite frequently, and especially with slow stuff. She would play a lot of popular music from the radio for round dancing and things. And so it's just another way to perk up the listener's ear, I guess.
That's fascinating. Okay, cool. So you're a fiddler yourself, but you're also a teacher. So I wanna ask you about that in terms of why do you think it's so important to bring this Gaelic lore and Gaelic knowledge into the classrooms?
Well, I just look at the makeup of our communities. Our communities are changing a lot, especially in the last 20 years. But we are, as a province, 1/3 from the Scottish Gaelic culture. That we are the largest cultural group in the province. And if you look at the language statistics, we don't even make the top 20 of speakers, top 20 of languages spoken, I should say. And when I think of that, like there's so much Gaelic in our communities that's not Gaelic language. It's people's belief systems and, you know, hospitality with your neighbor and all those other little pieces that are still part of the culture. But if you don't draw attention to that at some point, and where we're losing our native speakers, we're really in the last generation of native speakers, then once you lose your language, your culture is often not far off. So, you know, we're already seeing a change at some of the dances and things. Not all negative. There's lots of positive stuff happening, but there is a change with who's going to the dances and smaller crowds in well-known dance areas. And you know, it's just getting trickier to have a really informed audience, music-wise and language-wise. Like, it's one thing to love the melody of a song. It's another thing to understand the song. Right? And so we have this rich bardic tradition that has gone on untouched for generations. It's unbroken, but we're now at the time where the potential for that link is to be broken. So we have to bring it in a different way. And that's what I view the school role as. I am a Gaelic learner. My grandmother was a Gaelic speaker, and some of my other grandparents had great amounts of Gaelic. But, you know, I'm not going to make them fluent when I have them for a half hour a day. But my goal is to make them understanding of the culture and to love it and to look for other avenues to pursue it. So there's lots of students that have gone on to do programs like Nagashki Gaga at the Gaelic College, or maybe I'm writing a letter up for Storas Avala, which is the Treasures of Youth, so that they can get an instrument. So many great programs out there for kids. I just consider myself, and other teachers like me, the link to try and get them to these other opportunities, I guess. And of course, if they understand their own culture, they are going to be more understanding of other cultures. That's the other
complete sense. So during the specific Celtic Colours Festival, what's the energy like in the school?
Well, we're just starting to talk about it. So usually we have a big concert here. Burton McIntyre for many years has helped keep that concert afloat. And first of all, I explained to them there will be 600 plus people in our gym, which to them is like, whoa, you know. And then we start some of the planning for it. So we try and make our school look really great for our visitors. And we do lots of bulletin boards, and we watch some of the Celtic Colours videos that have been put out. They do wanted posters for the different musicians coming this year. So they learn a little bit about and figure out which artists they really kind of like their music. They'll run the canteen, they'll make oat cakes. They kind of do all the behind the scenes. They'll help out that night, some of them. And so it's just a way for them to get experience and exposure, you know. By doing the canteen, they kind of get a backstage access to the concert, you know. So it's we're starting to build the excitement, I guess.
Yeah, they really feel they are part of the community, and then they get to be part of the actual concert and part of the energy that brings it to life. Yeah, wow, cool.
Yep.
Well, Shelley, thank you very much for your time, and enjoy your students and Suish Leshagalak.
Oh, happily. Thanks very much. It's been great chatting with you, and I hope you enjoy the festival this year yourself.
Oh, we're having lots of fun. Thanks, Shelley.
Okay, cheers.
Cheers. Thanks very much, folks. The Celtic Colours Countdown. We'll be right back.
When you play with Atlantic Lottery, winners aren't the only ones who win. Because every dollar of profit we make is reinvested right back here. To the people and places that call Atlantic Canada and our 4 provinces home. With Atlantic Lottery, what happens beyond the game is game-changing.
The biggest thing for me is having fun with my art. Since I started music, I was like, I'm gonna make an EP, but I didn't know how to make it happen. I couldn't afford to make it happen. The EP that I finally got to put out was a result of funding, and that was a long-term goal of mine. But without the funding where it started, it wouldn't have been able to happen. Thanks to Support for Culture for just being here for me and supporting me along my journey.
We're here for our convertible.
How about an SUV?
Want to get out of here?
Hier ist das Schiebedach.
Und hier ist die Sonnencreme.
Okay, let's move on.
Where are those trucks?
We're right here.
Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Yep, still here.
For over 20 years, Protocase has revolutionized the world of custom manufacturing, offering the fastest way for the brightest minds in science and engineering to develop some of the coolest innovations in the world today. With 400 plus employees and over 20,000 customers, including NASA, Google, Microsoft, and Apple, join one of Nova Scotia's fastest growing companies, where we are proud to support the Celtic Colours International Music Festival.
One of the other magical parts of this festival, beyond the incredible music, the cultural events, and Cape Breton's renowned hospitality, is the island's incredible, breathtaking scenery. For you viewers at home, we have a little treat for you. We're going to take you on a road trip around the world-famous Cabot Trail.
Right on cue without the cue. Good job. Good evening and welcome to, for some of you, maybe the first show for the 29th edition of the Celtic Colours International Festival, brought to you by the TD Bank Group. We're very happy to have them with us as part of the TD Ready commitment. My name is Bob McCachran. Welcome to the Sarek Auditorium. For you folks who are live here in the audience, I know you're all pumped and ready for this beautiful show with Beòlach's 25th anniversary. For those listening online and tuning in online, thank you so much. We have a worldwide audience and we appreciate you. The live stream is courtesy of Destination Cape Breton with support from our good friends at NovaStream and Sound Park Studios. I want to remind the folks who are listening, watching online, to jump on the comments section and let us know where you're listening from. Say hi and let us know where you're listening from. It's always interesting to see where we're reaching around the world and who's tuning in to our streams. Of course, the streams are going one show per night, the whole 9 nights of Celtic Colours, so that's kind of exciting for us. I want to also acknowledge that we respectfully remind you that we are in Unama'ki, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, governed by the treaties of peace and friendship that date back to the 1700s. We honor the Mi'kmaq people and their enduring connection to this land, water, and culture. Now, a couple of housekeeping notes to make sure you have your cell phones off, or at least on silence. And note that there are exits, fire exits if need be. So as you came in, for those who are on the top part of the auditorium here, those are the exits you would use in case of an emergency. And of course, we have emergency exit down on this end as well for those who are on more off the level that I'm at right now. Now, remind you as well, no photos or videos to be taken. We have some official people with Celtic Colours doing that for us, so we'd ask you to respect that as well. Also, the good folks at here with Beòlach, they have some brand new merchandise, some beautiful T-shirts. Wendy tells me that for tonight only, they're $25 for the 25th. Tomorrow, she's jacking the price up. So they're available at our merch table when we do the intermission. Let's see, we have T-shirts, some signed posters from the band, and also CDs, all 3 CDs from the group, which is kind of a rare commodity for them to have them all available to you, but that's where we are tonight, and I know you'll take advantage of that. Okay, now, this is the 25th year, of course, of Beòlach, and how many of you have seen a Beòlach show before? Okay, that's just the family members of the band. How? Well, you know what you're in for. Of course, Beòlach started their band closely connected with Celtic Colours. And I want to bring somebody out who knows that story intimately, none other than the acting artistic director for this year's Celtic Colours Festival. Would you please welcome the co-founder, Joella Foulds. Well, Joella, this is an exciting night and a big part of the festival, one of the first shows to sell out as well. But take us back to 1999. How did this all come together?
Well, we had the festival club at the big room in the Inverary that year. And we often had a lot of people come who were presenters and buyers from other places and other countries. And a bunch of us were standing at the back watching the show. And in Festival Club, you kind of never know what's going to come next, right? And so I knew that a bunch of friends were getting together backstage. But they came out on stage, and it was like they had been playing together a long time. They were incredible. And the audience went nuts, and all of these buyers came to me and said, "Who's that band? We want to book that band," right? Well, they weren't really officially a band, and they didn't have a name. I go running backstage and say, "You guys better get a band name, because you got some gigs."
And that's the story, as true as it is. And I'll tell you, they gathered a lot of friends along the way. Some of them you'll see here tonight, and of course, friends in the audience. Please give a warm Celtic Colours welcome to none other than Beòlach.
of step dancers. Big round of applause for those girls. Oh my gosh. Hi. Hi. I have to remember this is being live streamed and not just everybody in here, so we won't be too bad. Thank you so much, everybody, for buying tickets for this show on day one. That made us feel really good. We're super excited to be doing this show as well, so close to home. We all grew up really close to here, and I used to come to town, park the car in front of Sobeys and hang out. Do nothing. Yes, again, in case you couldn't hear, that was Change of Step Dancers. That is hometown girl Taylor McCory and Janine and Marielle L'Esperance. And just before you clap, Marielle just won her 9th World Championship. And Kaylee Armstrong. Kaylee, I think you have another part of your last name, and I'm forgetting it. Sorry, she's changing now. And so we're celebrating this 25 years tonight. Who would have thought we would have been here 25 years ago? Anybody? Nope, definitely not our parents. And so we're really happy to have all of these musicians that we've toured with and played with and recorded with over the years. And we're going to keep a few of them on the stage right now. And we're just going to bring a few pictures up. So Joella did book some gigs for us. And the first gigs that we did were pretty big. We did the Tuner Festival in Denmark. There's a picture of us all there. Look at Joella. We might have had a few in us. No, not then. We never got asked back. I'll just leave it there. And that was in 2001. And then there's another picture here of us in Vancouver. So the Vancouver Folk Festival was another one that we did. There we are. Look at us all. Sweet. Sweet, what? Anyway, you'll see all the other pictures. These are for the folks at home who didn't see all the other pictures that were floating around. So yeah, really happy to be celebrating this 25 years. Mac is the only person who thought of the silver anniversary, and he paid for my last filling, and he got Maddie some hubcaps for her car. Sweet, isn't he? Anyway, oh God. We've been having such a good day, and so we're going to keep the original band members here. All 6 of us toured with my husband, Steve-O, doing sound for us. Thanks, you, Steve-O. Mattie Foulds on drums, Patrick Gillis on guitar, and Ryan J. MacNeil on the whistles and the pipes. Yep. And Pat couldn't find his butterscotch-colored capris, so I think he looks pretty good. What are we doing? Normans. Okay, we're pulling out the old stuff, you guys. So if anybody was a fan of a tune called Normans that we did a long time ago, we're gonna run that by you now.
We're gonna try it.
Well, thank you very much. It is really exciting for us to be able to kind of dig back into some of the catalog for a few that we played a lot and a few we didn't play much in public. And I'll tell you, it's just as stressful now 25 years later as it was then. And it's my favorite sound. So we... as a band, you know, there's lots of responsibilities that you kind of have to look after. You know, you're trying to be at the airports on time, and you're trying to do your laundry on the road, and you're trying to do all these things. But rehearsing is a big, very important part of being in a band. And as you can see, we took it very seriously there. And that was a rehearsal at Wendy's place. And we got up really early in the morning to rehearse. That's why we were still in our pajamas.
I particularly like Ryan's outfit.
Ryan did well. Do you sleep in that, Ryan?
Do you know what the saddest thing is? Is that we made this, you know, we tried to have a fun day, right? So let's make a dress-up day. So that's me in the bathing suit and knee pads. And so I had to get a drive with Patrick to our rehearsal at Wendy's house.
Who didn't get dressed up?
No. But Patrick picked up a hitchhiker on the way. And I come out, oh God. So, thanks, Pat.
Oh, we didn't have any fun at all. None. No, we still don't. It's really funny, though, like in getting ready for this show, like I was just trying to think of things, you know, 25 years is a long time for anything. And so you just start to, first you don't really believe that it could be that long. How long was it? But certainly in getting ready for the show and digging back into some of these things, and then you start to recall, you know, we're looking at pictures and things, and it really struck me that we get to, like the job that we have, we get to be around friends, which is a really cool thing. And for me, it's really cool to be able to work with people that inspire you. And that's really cool. So thanks, guys. Yeah. So, darn it, I said I wasn't going to get all sad and mushy up here. But it is a really neat thing to be able to make music with folks that inspire you. And we get a chance to do that all the time. I'm actually going to do this because I can't breathe. Yeah. You don't want that to happen. So we are going to continue, we're going to try and make a bunch of music for you. We're going to stuff as many notes as we can into this evening as we were able to. We're going to do another older set now. The first tune is a Strasbourg, written by an amazing composer of music, Jerry Holland. And everybody who's familiar with Cape Breton music would know of that name, Jerry Holland. Yep, for sure. And he certainly left his mark. Quite a legacy of music. And so the first one is a Jerry Holland tune, and I think we end the set with another legend in the music, a Howie MacDonald tune, maybe called Francis O'Coin's Jig. So we'll get through these for you.
All right. How are you doing now? Well, that's great. Well, for those of you who know us, we have spent probably 99% of our time as an instrumental band. And tonight we are so happy to have a couple of fantastic singers join us tonight. And one of them, well, she's a relative of mine. Can you guess? What can I say about Heather Rankin? She's an amazing singer. Yes. Part of the Rankin family, which was so inspirational to us growing up as musicians. My goodness, they just blew the doors open for making the fact that we could follow in their footsteps and play music and enjoy it. So she played with the Rankin family. She did another formation with her sisters. They had the most beautiful Christmas show. It's one of some of my favorite memories. She's an actress. She's acted. She's one of the funniest people I've ever met. And she's one of the kindest also. So put your hands together for the Baroness of Backstreet of Mabou. Heather Rankin, my favorite babysitter in the whole world. Thank you, Maddie.
Oh, John of Dew is toque found. Mochri hatrau hermano smifato elen dafta svohirnen glaun senan gawan obeden to the shaunish one. Haar gewoon is groeig, is vienef, ayun si mula nam biaun voor, o elen unia varich, o chonarin ach ni vahau. Tjärnen glav som en bjälloch, tjärnen kröv, she tjär magen, nan wagen fröch is ranjach, gertruaga galig vina gas.
Thank you. Happily. Thank you so much.
Well, I can't say how proud and honored I am to be included in your 25th celebration. And good for you for celebrating it, because it's easy to let these milestones go by and not mark them. So congratulations, and thank you for having me. We're going to continue on with a song that was written by Bruce Cockburn back in the 70s. I believe it was for a film. And I think it was about a couple of fellas who decided to drive out west to find some work. And I'm not sure how it ended, but I'm pretty sure they got as far as Toronto and went on a tear. And that was the end of that. But I'm not sure. I'll have to see the movie again. But this is called Going Down the Road. In the Isle of Cape Breton, my father did stay, and his father's father before, fishing the banks and digging the coal from the mines that don't give no more. But they couldn't compete with the company fleets. Now it's welfare relief or go west. So I'm going down the road, boys, seeking what I'm on, boys. I know it must get better if enough I go. Well, I came to the city with the sun in my eyes, my heart full of laughter and dreams. But all that I found was concrete and dust, and hard times sold in vending machines. So I'm going down the road, boys, seeking what I'm on, boys. I know it must get better if enough I go.
Heather Rankin. Oh my goodness. We finally have vocals in Beòlach. Yeah, let's see if we can make it another 25. I don't know if Mac and I will be able to dance in another 25. We'll take the walkers out. Yeah. Okay. Ah, beautiful. I have goosebumps. We're going to do one last set for you here, and let's see what time it is. Yeah, we're doing all right. And then we're going to let you go out and check out the merch table or do whatever you need to do. And we got one more photo here to show you. This is from a photo shoot that we did in Scotland with Louis DiCarlo. Remember that, you guys? Yes. Remember that night? Oh, my goodness. Oh. Isn't that cute? Aren't we cute? Yeah, cute forever. Oh, thank you. should see me in the morning, though. All right, so we got the boys back out here. Like, what's better than a set of bagpipes in a band? 3 sets of bagpipes. So this is a version of a set on our Variations album called Hot Lunch with a few little changes, so please enjoy.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
Ladies and gentlemen, Beòlach 25. What a start. Amazing. Just beautiful. Everything you would have expected for this show. So we're going to take a 15-minute break. Before we do that, I want to remind you that you have tickets. That means that on the reverse of your tickets, you have a spot to put your name. We have ballots up there. Pop your name in the ballot drum, and you could win one of these books. We got a 25 retrospective of Celtic Colours there, and Nanda McMaster's brand new book, I Have a Love Story. We'll draw for those right after intermission. I also want to remind you that the merchandise is on sale up there, and the good folks at with the our Drivers Association are looking after the merchandise, looking after, of course, our artists as well, all through the week. And we'd like to acknowledge and recognize what they do for our organization. In addition to the many hours they keep the festival moving, they continue to support young and emerging Cape Breton artists through bursaries to attend the Gaelic College, and every year they support a young artist to record their very first album. Since 2006, they have contributed over $100,000 to these programs. That's amazing, $100,000. Watch them go. Now, they've just released a compilation album featuring many of the artists they have supported over the last number of years, and it is available tonight along with the merchandise from Beòlach, so check that out. And we also want to note that after years of transporting the artists and the instruments all over Cape Breton Island, they have reached an incredible milestone, 2 million kilometers accident-free with our Drivers Association. We can't thank them enough for their incredible volunteer hours and their dedication to this festival. So again, we appreciate the Drivers Association and all they do for us. So again, we've got a 15-minute break, ladies and gentlemen. Stretch, fill out those ballots, and we'll see you back here for the second part of the show.
Something about this place brings me back, it always brings me back. This kind of love won't change. Brings me back, it always brings me back. I've crossed many miles, but one thing's always clear, my heart stays here.
The Celtic Colours Festival means a lot to me because it displays the beauty of the island, the beauty of the music, and the beauty of the culture. One of the most memorable things about growing up in Cape Breton is understanding that the Cape Breton culture was not one group of people, but it was a compilation of many different cultures from many different parts of the world that is unique. My hope is for the festival to continue well into the future so it can showcase what Cape Breton has to offer to the world. Wagner's, your personal injury lawyers.
When it comes to taking that first step in your educational journey, you have a lot of choices. Only one feels like home. At Cape Breton University, you can explore your passions and gain global perspectives in familiar surroundings. With a diverse, welcoming campus community, exciting programs, and outstanding faculty support, you can get a world-class education right here at home. This is community. This is Cape Breton University. Apply today at cbu.ca/apply.
When you play with Atlantic Lottery, winners aren't the only ones who win. Because every dollar of profit we make is reinvested right back here. To the people and places that call Atlantic Canada and our 4 provinces home. With Atlantic Lottery, what happens beyond the game is game-changing.
The biggest thing for me is having fun with my art. Since I started music, I was like, I'm gonna make an EP, but I didn't know how to make it happen. I couldn't afford to make it happen. The EP that I finally got to put out was a result of funding, and that was a long-term goal of mine. But without the funding where it started, it wouldn't have been able to happen. Thanks to Support for Culture for just being here for me and supporting me along my journey.
We're here for our convertible.
How about an SUV?
Want to get out of here?
Hier ist das Schiebedach.
Und hier ist die Sonnencreme.
Okay, let's move on.
Where are those trucks? We're right here.
Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Yep, still here.
For over 20 years, Protocase has revolutionized the world of custom manufacturing, offering the fastest way for the brightest minds in science and engineering to develop some of the coolest innovations in the world today. With 400 plus employees and over 20,000 customers, including NASA, Google, Microsoft, and Apple, join one of Nova Scotia's fastest growing companies, where we are proud to support the Celtic Colours International Music Festival.
When you play with Atlantic Lottery, winners aren't the only ones who win. Because every dollar of profit we make is reinvested right back here. To the people and places that call Atlantic Canada and our 4 provinces home. With Atlantic Lottery, what happens beyond the game is game-changing.
The biggest thing for me is having fun with my art. Since I started music, I was like, I'm gonna make an EP, I'm gonna make an EP, but I didn't know how to make it happen. I couldn't afford to make it happen. The EP that I finally got to put out was a result of funding, and that was a long-term goal of mine. But without the funding where it started, it wouldn't have been able to happen. Thanks to Support for Culture for just being here for me and supporting me along my journey.
We're here for our convertible.
How about an SUV?
Want to get out of here?
Hier ist das Schiebedach.
Und hier ist die Sonnencreme.
Okay, let's move on.
Where are those trucks? We're right here.
Whatever it is, we're here for it.
Yep, still here.
For over 20 years, Protocase has revolutionized the world of custom manufacturing, offering the fastest way for the brightest minds in science and engineering to develop some of the coolest innovations in the world today. With 400 plus employees and over 20,000 customers, including NASA, Google, Microsoft, and Apple, join one of Nova Scotia's fastest growing companies, where we are proud to support the Celtic Colours International Music Festival.
Over the last century, Member 2 has become our home. Our community today was only a dream to our ancestors of Gundawiktu, who were forcibly removed from our original location on King's Road. Following their lead of bravery and resilience, we too lead by example for those who come after us.
There's pride in sharing culture in our success in Member 2. Our Mi'kmaq values honor land, water, and each other. It is said that each one of us only truly exists in relation to those around us. Community is everything.
In an act of harmony, our people and our community have grown together, one always in unison with the other, like the roots and the branches of a beautiful old birch tree. Without our people, we simply wouldn't have the vibrancy we have in Member 2 today.
Member 2 welcomes the world, and the future is ours.
Gundawiktu is where we come from. Member 2 is where we now call home. There's no stopping where we go next.
Scotland is small and mighty.
Innovative, beautiful scenery.
Mountains, lochs, glens.
There's a lot of energy here, and it's good energy.
Scottish people are passionate.
Funny, inviting. Scotland has a really supportive environment.
Scotland push new voices. And I've always felt such love and support from Scotland.
I don't see Scotland being constrained by its own borders.
It has this rich history and culture.
We're not one thing, we're everything.
We have the talent. We have the network.
There's passion out there.
Goed malan en koele roem gaat je lui mij ruisen. Goed malan en koele roem gaat je lui mij ruisen. Goed malan en koele roem gaat je lui mij ruisen. Goed malan en koele roem gaat je lui mij ruisen. Gaat je lui mij ruisen. Gaat je lui mij ruisen. Gaat je Jerusalem, gaat Jerusalem ruisen. Ongoed malan en koelerum, gaat Jerusalem ruisen. Ongoed malan en koelerum, gaat Jerusalem ruisen. Ongoed malan en koelerum, gaat Jerusalem ruisen. Gaat Jerusalem, gaat Jerusalem ruisen. Ongoed malan en koelerum, gaat Jerusalem ruisen. Tayakam, upon the hill, Bengalakam, Smolina, Salo, round. Habenagam, Tayakam, hold the cow, Tayakam, upon the hill, Bengalakam, Smolina, Salo, round. China, Mikulini, one, Kulini, Galkulini, one, China, Mikulini, one, sleep all of Tayamaro. China, Mikulini, one, Kulini, Galkulini, one, China, Mikulini, one, sleep all of Tayamaro. Dole chingamiri dole gamiari dole chingamiri pita kere kliai dole chingamiri dole gamiari dole chingamiri pita kere kliai ami jari tavan jag speak kisaliami halikalam hana sarsi kanya pita kliai ami jari tavan jag speak kisaliami halikalam hana sarsi kanya pita kliai ami jari tavan jag speak kisaliami halikalam hana sarsi kanya pita kliai ami jari tavan jag speak kisaliami halikalam hana sarsi kanya pita kliai.
Cheers, thank you very much.
There's something about this place brings me back, it always brings me back. This kind of love won't change. Brings me back, it always brings me back. I've crossed many miles, but one thing's always clear, my heart stays here.
The Celtic Colours Festival means a lot to me because it displays the beauty of the island, the beauty of the music, and the beauty of the culture. One of the most memorable things about growing up in Cape Breton is understanding that the Cape Breton culture was not one group of people, but it was a compilation of many different cultures from many different parts of the world that is unique. My hope is for the festival to continue well into the future so it can showcase what Cape Breton has to offer to the world. Wagner's, your personal injury lawyers.
When it comes to taking that first step in your educational journey, you have a lot of choices. Only one feels like home. At Cape Breton University, you can explore your passions and gain global perspectives in familiar surroundings. With a diverse, welcoming campus community, exciting programs, and outstanding faculty support, you can get a world-class education right here at home. This is community. This is Cape Breton University. Apply today at cbu.ca/apply.
When you play with Atlantic Lottery, winners aren't the only ones who win. Because every dollar of profit we make is reinvested right back here. To the people and places that call Atlantic Canada and our 4 provinces home. With Atlantic Lottery, what happens beyond the game is game-changing.
The biggest thing for me is having fun with my art. Since I started music, I was like, I'm gonna make an EP, I'm gonna make an EP, but I didn't know how to make it happen. I couldn't afford to make it happen. The EP that I finally got to put out was a result of funding, and that was a long-term goal of mine. But without the funding where it started, it wouldn't have been able to happen. Thanks to Support for Culture for just being here for me and supporting me along my journey.
Second half of the show. So if you could take your seat, that would be fantastic. Make sure you filled out your ballot, put it in the ballot box. We'll start the second half off with that draw. Thank you. welcome back to Beòlach, the first 25, we'll call it. How are you doing? Are you feeling good? That first half was incredible, wasn't it? Unbelievable, unbelievable. One of the things, in addition to the music part of this festival, one of the things we love doing is welcoming our visitors. And I know that last year we had something like 48 states represented across the board. So where are our American cousins in the audience tonight? Let's hear from you. One right here. We're glad to have you. How about those who are from countries outside of North America? Oh, there's a few. That's good. You're representing. And how about our Canadian friends? Well, listen, we're glad to have you all here, and thank you so much for visiting Celtic Colours. I have Catherine with me tonight, and this is Catherine's first visit to Celtic Colours. Where are you from, Catherine?
Charleston, South Carolina.
Yeah! Yes! We love it. But Catherine and her family are making up for lost time. Although this is her first visit to Celtic Colours, she's got a lot of shows planned. How many nights did you buy tickets for?
We are going to 8 shows.
That's good. That's really good. So for the folks who are in the audience, how many of you have tickets for 5 shows? And how many of you have tickets for, say, 7 shows? That's pretty good. Okay, that's good. You're right up there with Catherine. Catherine, we have one responsibility here tonight, and that is for us to do a couple of ticket draws. As I mentioned, we're going to do the ticket draw for the retrospective, celebrating 25 years of Celtic Colours. This is signed by all of the crew on the stage tonight, and then we have Natalie McMaster's book as well. So let's draw ticket number 1, and we'll do this for the Celtic Colours retrospective book. And the lucky winner is, this is going to, all the way from British Columbia, Hugh McKinnon. And for the winners, your prize will be right out the door there when you leave tonight. And let's draw for the Natalie McMaster. And this one is going to, well, look at this. All the way from Arisag, Scotland. We have an Arisag in Nova Scotia as well, but this is Arisag, Scotland. And it's David Smith. Thanks so much to Catherine from South Carolina. Enjoy the shows. All right, we got a couple of things that we want to kind of handle here tonight. Want to remind you that the Festival Club is on, thanks to Big Spruce Brewing. And this year we're doing something a little bit different, and that is giving you the headliners. In addition to the headliners, of course, there's going to be lots of other entertainers at the Gaelic College, but tonight we get Vishton at the Gaelic College for the headliner. Should be a great show. All right, now I'm going to welcome a couple of our friends, Noelle Wadden and Leslie Ann Andrews, to make a special presentation. One of the things with Celtic Colours, we always love our partners, and we are happy to have these ladies with us tonight. Ladies?
Thank you so much. What a privilege to be here tonight. What a fantastic show. Just in awe. My name is Leslie Ann Andrews, and I am a retired music teacher from the area here in Cape Breton, and I was also the arts consultant for the Cape Breton Victoria Regional Center for Education. And I'm here with my very esteemed colleague, Noelle Wadden. Noelle is a music teacher with the Cape Breton Victoria Regional Center for Education, and she is also the vice president of the Nova Scotia Music Educators Association, of which I am also a member. And she is here tonight along with me. We have the privilege to present the Celtic Colours Festival with the Nova Scotia Music Educators Association's Musica Viva Award. This award acknowledges an individual or organization that has made a significant impact and influence in the field of music education in Nova Scotia. Celtic Colours has constantly found ways to work within the education system to provide cultural music programming to schools, which is central to the music curriculum. The festival itself provides a myriad of programming within all our communities, with events sometimes hosted at schools. Celtic Colours started its Celtic Colours in the Schools programming from its inception and works closely with the Centres for Education to provide concerts in schools with many of the professional musicians you see featured. When costs of busing and fees became a factor that inhibited some schools from initially participating, Celtic Colours successfully applied for grants and partnerships so that programming is absolutely free to students and they bring the performers to each school. Not only does the Celtic Colours in the Schools program exist, the organization consults on what teachers would feel best suit the needs of students. They expand programming all the time. Roots in the Rooms is one example. So small groups can work with professional musicians in classrooms, not just for one concert, but over an extended period of time. Celtic Colours also partnered to provide an after-school string program with cultural experiences for students and their families. This programming was provided free of charge, again through grants and partnerships. Celtic Colours administered this program with their own staff, and it was very successful. They also found a donor to sponsor a string program in some of our rural schools. The staff of the Celtic Colours Festival continuously work on committees with teachers to provide exceptional programming to students to ensure many opportunities are made available in schools and that the future is very bright. It is with tremendous gratitude and congratulations that we present this award to Yvette Rogers, who will accept it on behalf of Celtic Colours. I would like to personally thank Yvette for her tremendous work in the past with me, especially making things happen for students and teachers. Congratulations, Celtic Colours.
Thank you, ladies, and thank you again, Yvette, for all you've done for Celtic Colours over the years. Much appreciated. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, we talk about Beòlach in a lot of different terms. One of them, of course, is musical. But the other part of what I always loved about this group is that these are some of the best people that Cape Breton has produced, without question. And they're not just friends, they're family. And I'm always so proud to introduce them on stage because I know they deliver beyond what your expectation would be coming in the door. And they're doing it tonight again. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give another warm welcome to Beòlach.
you very much. Big hand for Change of Step. Absolutely beautiful dancers. Oh, incredible. I keep losing my spot on the fiddle because I'm like, oh. Anyways, I think we have another photo coming up, and it's about, it was one of the photo shoots that we did for our last album that we made, which was called All Hands. Who here has it? Okay, what's wrong with the rest of you? That was an album that it took a couple of years. Albums are a difficult thing to make. The older you get, there's more responsibilities and less brain cells. So this one took a while, but we really, really enjoyed it, and it encompasses the pipes, the fiddles, the piano, Cape Breton style, Scottish styles, a couple of Irish tunes thrown in there also. And we actually had a really fun time making it, and we released it right before COVID. I tell you, our timing is kind of the worst, but what came out of it was a lot of touring and traveling. We were nominated for a Juno Award. Yeah, that was pretty special. And we also were nominated for an East Coast Music Award, which we won. So look at that. So we've got a bit of fire inside us to make another one, so we'll see where that one goes. I was up earlier before the show started, and I was setting up the tables, and a gentleman came up to me and asked, "How do you pronounce your name?" He goes, "I've never seen you guys." So if you're not familiar with us, it's where we're from, it's Beòlach. So if you can get that in your head, and some other people pronounce it Beòlach, and it means embers in the ashes, which I think is a tribute to 25 years of sticking it out. The other original meaning, which we took when we first were looking at it, was lively youth. So we're wearing that one out. These heels are killing me. Anyways, we're going to continue on. On that note, maybe of a new album. This is something that we have in the can, and maybe it'll be going on the next record. It's a tune that combines a Scottish tune and a Cape Breton tune. The first one was written by Dougie MacDonald, and then the other one was written by Hamish Moore, correct? All right, here we go with Miller Malts.
Well, how are you doing? Good, dear. We're going to bring another special guest out here tonight. We're super lucky to be able to have these gals come and sing some songs with us. And I'm just going to burn some time here. Anybody got a good joke? A guy came up to me last night and said, "You told the funniest joke ever," but it was back in the day before live stream, so can't tell those anymore. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage my great friend Mary Jane Lamond.
Thank you so much. And Heather got out here before me with all her gratitude, but I am also very grateful to be here. I just started doing that. I was wondering if we should be implementing a required enshrinement age for Gaelic singers. No, please. Anyways, it's a great pleasure to be here with these people. It's on my bucket list, actually, and it's so nice to be asked to be here, finally. I knew they'd love that. So,
because she blocked my phone number, so.
So this next song is a song that Wendy and I put out on our CD we did together, which was a great pleasure to do together. The CD is called Shane. And being a financial genius, I don't have any of them here tonight. Anyway, so I learned this from, as part of a mentorship program. I picked it out for a person who was learning Gaelic songs, and Shannon McMullen, a friend of mine. And then I liked it so much, I took it back and we recorded it. And so it's Eriyiya Hamaroon. And this young woman is saying her lover is away. She would recognize him among the nobility. And it's got one of my favorite lines in it. Her mother says to her, my mother would say to me, get up and rise your courage. When the young man comes back, there will be no unhappiness. So, I hope. Eriyiya Hamorun, Hamorun Eriyiya Anwa Chururum Dohu Hamindu Riuhiyek Anamula Napound Fuad Hamo Wayan Nikian Kaninu Misk and Twy Leshna Huashlin Hachian Eriyiya Hamorun Hamorun Eriyiya Vanwa Chururum Dohu Hamindu Riuhiyek Sauna Mula Napound Arsht Hamograyan Nikian Ketnak Tuku Gantawab Doyach Swan Jachachilin Eriyiya Hamorun Hamorun Eriyiya Vanwa Chururum Dohu Hamindu Riuhiyek Bimo Vahurumagra Erik Suas Tok to Vishnak Katan Kia Fatavuat Chabi Groim Anurika Eriyiya Hamorun Hamorun Eriyiya Vanwa Chururum Dohu to the vorst, kach gan all, stúk and shirig, Amorun, Amorun, Van moi churum do hu, Abi, tua gaba wai ni uchiyag hana ni nakanan gruim anach duera thinkia eragia amorun amorun eragia vanwa churum do hu amin do riuyag eragia amorun Time, Capelay.
This is me. Oops. How are you now? Pretty good? Are you getting tired? Are you looking at going home? No? You're willing to stay for a few more yet? Okay, that's good. Thank you. We have a few more that we practiced that we'd like to try and play for you, so it'd be really sad if you left now. So there's a picture that we're going to show here, and it is, just when we were in London there for Canada Day, we were over as part of a bunch of Canadians that went over to celebrate Canada Day in Trafalgar Square. And lots of fun. Erica M. there from Much Music. Yeah, she's in that picture too, I think. I don't know if anybody remembers Much Music. Yeah, must be a few of you out there. There must have a few of you around 25 years out there.
It's kind of like an above generation and a below generation.
Yeah, maybe, yeah. And it's just really, that picture speaks to a lot of, I kind of like, we've talked a bit about connections and being together and being inspired by your friends and all that. And really, it is an amazing kind of thing to be able to think back on 25 years and all the folks that you would have run into over the years and been a part of events like that one that we were at together. And just really, again, just the influence that people have on you in your travels. Like, we've all worked with so many folks, and they've all really made us who we are as musicians and people. And, it's really, really kind of fun to be a part of something like this. Anyway, I'm kind of thinking, I'm really introspective the last couple of months just thinking about this stuff. I'm taking this out because I can hear myself a little better. There. Now I can kind of relax. I don't have to hear, I'm talking to myself in my head is what it feels like, which happens a lot when I'm home, but I don't do it as often as in public, or maybe I do, walking through the grocery store or talking to myself. When we're recording music and playing music, you, as all musicians would know, you really cast your net pretty far and wide, because you're kind of looking for things that'll inspire you. And we're really lucky here in Cape Breton because we come from such a deep, rich tradition of like incredible musicians and incredible composers, and it's a culture that is really so multi-layered. And I know I speak for all of us when I say that we're really very proud to be from and part of something that is so deep and rich as the culture here. And so we're going to go on to some tunes now, and the reason I say that is because there's a tune in this written by a fellow by the name of John McDougall, and we've already played one of his tunes tonight, and this one is called Y.892. And it's like the letter Y and then .892, because the fellow wrote more than 40,000 tunes. And you would think that's, I'm telling you, a big fib, which I tend to do the odd time, but not right now. And he did write that many melodies, and I have a couple of manuscripts. Oh, sorry, Ian, I forgot to bring those back to your house. Ian McDougall would be a relative of this fellow. And he lent out some books for actually a Celtic Colours project several years ago called John McDougall's Tune Book. And I just forgot to bring them back. So there, I just admitted it. You can see it on the live stream, Ian. I do have them, but they're very safe. And then we're going to also play a couple of tunes written by another incredible composer here from Cape Breton, Mr. Mairi Rankin. And another person that's left his fingerprint, who's left his fingerprint on the music here in Cape Breton. Such a legacy of tunes and music and inspiration for us still. So I guess we'll go on. That's enough yakking from me. Yeah? Matt's going to start with a tune called Gypsy Dance.
Mr. Kenneth MacKenzie and Boyd MacNeil on the fiddles over there. Are we at the end of the show? Holy cow. No? Okay, if you pay another fee, we'll play for 2 more hours. Oh my God, we're near dead. We started working on this show in February. And
Don't laugh.
No.
It's true.
It is true. I was in the Celtic Colours office and was lucky enough to be an assistant, myself and Mattie Foulds there on the drums, to help Joella to program the festival this year. And thank you. And I had this idea last year and mentioned it to Dawn. I actually was crazy enough to say, I think I want to do the opening or the closing show to do this show. And I'm kind of glad I didn't, because that would have been a lot of pressure. But Joella thought it would be a great idea, so thank you, Joella. And here we are, and we did start working on it a lot, and there's just a lot of moving pieces, but I woke up this morning, we all did, we texted each other, and we were like, it's like Christmas morning. We all had lots of jitters, but sometimes it's good to be nervous when you get on stage. Keeps you on your toes. I just want to introduce this whole band to you. Pipers extraordinaire, Mr. Ryan J. MacNeil. And then from Mabu, Kenneth MacKenzie. And of course, this fella's moving back to Nova Scotia. Woohoo! Mr. Mattie MacIsaac. Over on the drums there, who has been living in Scotland. Matt was in the band with us from the get-go, and then he moved to Scotland 24 years ago. Mattie? Yeah. 24 years next week you went. Wow. Oh my goodness. Mr. Mattie Foulds on the drums. And all the way from Scottsville, Mr. Patrick Gillis on the guitar.
One chicken finger.
God, we have stories. And then poor Boyd, I thought many times he should have been closer to us, we had this big gap, but I tried to look at you, Boyd. You guys all know him, Mr. Boyd MacNeil. And just before we get the other gals out here, I cannot thank enough the tech crew that work on these shows. They're the first here, they're the last to leave. They work so hard and they really make this happen for us. Thank you so much to the Celtic Colours and Nova Stream crew. Thank you. And I will pick out a few people. Albert's doing monitors for us. He's got the patience of I don't know what. Thank you, Albert. And Steve-O doing front of house. Thank you, Steve-O.
Thank you, Steve-O.
And Adam is on lights. Is that right? Is that right, Adam? Am I right there, you guys? Darcy, who runs NovaStream. Thank you, Darcy. And Dave Corkum. I kind of tortured those guys since the idea of the show, and they've been very patient, and I think they still like me. We want to thank the Port Hawkesbury Curling Club for hosting this. We haven't had a host for this show since a while, and I really appreciate you guys stepping up and feeding us and doing all those things in Maryland Talbot. Thank you. Thank you, guys. And the volunteers. I think I heard there's like, is it 1,700, Joella? 1,700 volunteers for this festival. Please give them a round of applause. And of course, this guy worked so hard on the music for this show. Please give it up for Mac Morin. We love you, Mac. And then this beautiful woman beside me, who's now not a miss, but a Mrs., Miss Maddie Rankin. She just got married 2 weeks ago, and it was fun. Yes. And I'm Wendy MacIsaac from down the road.
Big hand for Wendy MacIsaac, the mother of the band.
So we're gonna have a finale here. So we're gonna get Mary Jane Lamond and Heather Rankin to come in and join us. We did have one more picture there. There was a crew of us that went to, oh, there we go. That's from ECMAs. We had a picture from Dubai too, when Boyd's knees were sweating. There it is. Look at us. Can you imagine us playing Cape Breton fiddle tunes in Dubai? So crazy. Anyways, thank you to you guys. I mean, how boring would this be if there wasn't a crowd here? We're going to do a beautiful song. Heather, can you introduce it? Because I'll just not do it justice.
You introduce. No. Okay. It's a beautiful love song. And
It's a beautiful love song.
like he's, like in a lot of love songs, he's got it bad. He compares her to...
She has white calves.
She has white calves.
Nice white calves.
Yes, beautiful black hair and...
Dark eyes.
Yeah. It's a compliment.
Yeah.
Calves. No, calves like the back of your legs.
Not like...
She has beautiful cows.
Beautiful song.
Well, I thought you meant baby cows, you know, the calves.
I just know fellas in Glendale who might use that as a compliment. Okay.
Is that a good enough introduction?
That's great.
I think you covered it.
Yeah. I think we covered it all. Too much.
Woo!